Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Being your family's grocery store isn't just about having the best butcher cut meat or the freshest produce. It's not about having the highest quality online shopping or experts who handpick your groceries. And it's not just about giving you the most affordable prices. Being your family's grocery store means making sure that you have all of that. And that's why at Fairway Meat and Grocery, it's what we've always been about.
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
For you. We'd like to welcome you to this year's Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament in Fort Dodge, Iowa. We hope you've enjoyed the action today, and we're here today with Farm Bureau President Brent Johnson. And we're actually visiting Brent at his farm just outside of Manson, Iowa. We are so thankful for all those who support us to help put on this great event, none of which are more important than Iowa Farm Bureau, our proud title sponsor. Why does Iowa Farm Bureau invest in Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union?
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to be the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, and we're also thrilled to be a part of this year's Girls State Softball Tournament. This tournament not only showcases Iowa's elite teams, but the athletes competing here today are among the nation's best and brightest, and our farmers are among the nation's most productive. Our partnership with the Girls Union gives us the opportunity to honor both while supporting and uplifting the Iowa girls.
Why has the Iowa Farm Bureau invested so much in support of the Iowa girl and all of Iowa's youth across this nation?
Well, we at Farm Bureau believe in championing Iowa's youth. After all, one day they will be our state's future leaders. The Iowa Farm Bureau Scholarship Program, we've given over $500,000 every year to kids across the state. We've also teamed up with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union to sponsor concussion insurance at no cost to those athletes or their families so that they can continue to compete at a high level. We've also provided teachers over the last 8 years with over $450,000 so that they can properly equip their classrooms. And most recently, we've gifted $1 million to the FFA Foundation for their efforts to increase agriculture awareness and support their chapters across the state.
The student athletes participating in this year's tournament are taking home some great souvenirs.
The signature ball program, a memento that they can take with them so someday they can look back on their experiences here and know that the effort that they put in has really paid off, and really congratulate all those students that are competing here at this year's tournament.
Thank you, Brent, and thank you, Iowa Farm Bureau. Now let's get back to playing ball.
It's a great day for softball here in Fort Dodge, Iowa. My name is Eric Zamora. Alongside me, Daniel Versteg, and we are just about to get underway. Welcome to Kruger Field at Harlan and Hazel Rogers Sports Complex. right here in Fort Dodge, the home of the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. In just a matter of moments, we will have the Class 2A 1 seed versus 8 seed matchup. The visitors are going to be the Northeast Rebels, the home squad, the Iowa City Regina Regals, and that's going to be presented to you right here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Daniel, I know that the pace is fast here. In fact, we've found that some of the games have gone long, so we'll try to get in as much information as we can between. But let's go ahead and take a look at the road to state and how these teams got here. Obviously, Iowa City, as the 1 seed and with an impressive record of 27-8, you'd expect that they flew by their competition, but they actually did have a scare as they were able to pick up the Region 7 championship, knocked off Pekin 12-0, but then just 3-2, they were able to outlast Cardinal, and then Eddyville, Blakesburg, Freeman. They are able to defeat 6-1. On the other side, Northeast, knocking off Marquette Catholic 10-0, Cascade 7-2, and Wilton 5-1. As this tournament has unfolded, we've seen that it's tough to gauge where to put those seeds, and we've already seen some big upsets. So I know some people might go in going, well, it's a 1 versus an 8. We know what to expect, and that's chalk. But I really think that both of these teams aren't just here to purchase merchandise and have an experience. They're here for a championship.
They are, yeah. Iowa City Regina obviously is looking to repeat from last year's state championship win in Northeast. They had to play 2 ranked teams, Cascade and Wilton, in the region tournament just to get here. And so, you know, they're hungry. They might think they've got a chip on their shoulder of the girls' union may not have ranked them as where they should have. They put them in too tough a region, and they got out of it. And, of course, these two teams are in the River Valley Conference, different divisions, so you've got that kind of pride as well of the fact that, you know, you want to defeat your South Division's best team and hopefully make a name for yourself down here.
And as we look at the stats on our screen, as you would expect, there are very few teams that get here without an ace, and both of these teams are certainly in that category. It's going to be Ashley Webb going for Iowa City, a 16-6 record, 111 2/3 innings pitched, and a 1.53 ERA with 162 strikeouts. On the other side, it's going to be Madison Cleaver, the junior, with 129 2/3 innings pitched, a 15-5 record, a 2.32 ERA, and those 174 strikeouts. We are just about ready for the introduction of the teams, so we'll go ahead and throw it down to our public address announcer and listen in to both the non-starters and then the starters for Northeast and Iowa City Regina.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, softball fans, and welcome to Ryder Sports Complex in this 2A quarterfinal game between the visiting team from the towns of Goose Lake, Charlotte, Andover, Bryan, and Elmira, the Northeast Rebels, and the home team, the Iowa City Regina Regals. Winner of this game will advance to the 2A semifinal round on Wednesday, played at 3:30 on Iowa Central Field. Now let's meet your non-starters. First of all, the visitors from Northeast. Number 3, Carly Hansen. Number 9, Anna Benowitz. Number 11, Jordan Tegler. Number 25, Lexi Kuchu. And number 28, Haley Benowitz. For assistant coaches, Alec Anderson, Bree Mangelson, and Darlin Johnson. And now, here's your starting lineup for the Rebels of Northeast, leading off. Doing the pitching, number 19, Madison Cleaver. Batting second at shortstop, number 7, Emma Kiergaard. Batting third at third base, number 5, Leah Mangelson. Cleanup hitter for the Rebels, the right fielder, number 33, Ellen Trenkin. Batting fifth at left field, number 24, Cadence Driscoll. Batting sixth and playing second base, number 14, Caitlin Hansen. Batting 7th at first base, number 22, Allie Kane. Batting 8th, the designated player, number 12, Piper Isbell. Batting in the 9th position, the center fielder, number 4, Olivia Chambers. The flex player doing the catching, number 17, is Bailey Petrie. Head coach for Northeast, Travis Eversmeyer. And now let's meet the team from Iowa City, Regina. Here are your non-starters. Natalie Gannon, number 6, Harper Irwin. Number 14, Reese Linton. Number 20, Malia Persley. Number 21, Kylie Devery. Number 27, Maria Monastina. And number 31, Rachel Nugent. Your assistant coaches are Craig Stratton and Kristen Doctor. Now here's your starting lineup for the Eagles of Regina. Leading off, playing your right field, number 7, Avery Keys. And center field, number 11, Danny Laughlin. And third, doing the catching, number 8, Courtney Kessler. Leading up for the Eagles, doing the pitching, number 5, Ashley Webb. And fifth, at shortstop, number 9, Gabby Supel. And sixth, the designated player, number 22, Kennedy Connor. And seventh, in left field, number 12, Morgan Gann. Batting 8th at first base, number 60, Jillian Panther. Batting in the 9th position at second base, number 26, Allie Clark. The flex player playing at third base, number 42, Lacey Chambliss. Head coach for the Eagles, Angela Kessler. Ladies and gentlemen, now please turn your attention to the home plate area. The umpires assigned to this contest by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. At first base, Ed Oliver. Third base, Deidre Moore. And calling the balls and strikes, Mr. Jerry Bohe. All right, who's ready to play state tournament softball?
So we are just about to get underway with Class 2A quarterfinal action. But before we do, we'd like to once again thank Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, for their support. The Iowa Farm Bureau has an office located in each of the 99 counties across Iowa. We'd like to thank the offices listed on your screen for their support of these two teams playing in our game today. Thank you, Iowa Farm Bureau, for supporting the IGHSAU and the Iowa Girl. Let's go ahead and take a look at what Iowa City Regina is going to put out defensively. Ashley Webb, the aforementioned senior, will get the start on the circle. Courtney Kessler will catch her. Going around the right side of the infield, it's Jillian Panther at first, Allie Clark at second, Gabby Supel at short, and Lacey Chambliss at third base. The outfield from left to right, Morgan Gann in left, Danny Laughlin out in center, Avery Keys out in right, and the member of the Regals, not mentioned so far, who is starting, is Kennedy Connor, as she is the flex player and the batter who is in essence batting for Chambliss. When we look at Northeast, they will go with Madison Kluver, Emma Kiergaard, and Leah Mangelson will all come to the dish this inning. Then, depending on how long the half inning goes, Ella Trenkamp, Cadence Driscoll, and Caitlin Hansen are the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Allie Kane, Piper Isbell, and Olivia Chambers will get things going from there. Bailey Petrie is the catcher for Northeast, who does not appear in the batting lineup. Northeast Rebels come in with a record of 22-11. Iowa City Regina 27-8. Northeast in the combination of navy blue with the baby blue pinstripes and navy blue numerals outlined in that white and baby blue, and white socks, matching pants to the tops for Regina. They'll go in their whites with gold numerals outlined, black numerals outlined in gold, white pants and socks, and we are about underway. Ashley Webb will get herself set. A southpaw looks in on the right swinging Kluver, and goes low with the first pitch. Good swing there, but Kluver just not able to catch up.
Yeah, this is a really fun matchup to start the game. You got Cleaver and you got Webb, the two aces here for both teams, and trying to feel each other out with the first pitch of the contest and the first at bat. Going to be a really fun start to this contest.
Cleaver gets called on the outside edge there by our home plate umpire, Jerry Voorhees. Ed Oliver down the first base side and Deidre Moore on the third base side. A defensive swing right there. Cleaver just trying to stay alive in the at bat, and she does just that as she fouls one over the first base side.
Well, that's going to be the strategy here today is keeping yourself alive in counts and praying one of the pitchers makes a mistake. They probably aren't going to make many, so you got to capitalize when they do.
Low as Cleaver lays off that one. She's batting .446 on the season. As the leadoff batter, you would expect. She leads the team in at-bats with 121, but also hits with 54 and doubles with an even dozen. Takes a look at one, hits it out to left field, and that is flying deep. Has it got enough? It's gone. What a start for the Northeast Rebels as Cleaver falls behind in the count, and it does not matter. She goes yard, and the Rebels on top by a score of 1-0.
You know what I was also going to say there, Eric, had we had another pitch to do so, was she's also second on the team in RBIs, which is something you just don't see from a leadoff hitter. But I can tell why. When you had the pop like she does, her 6th home run of the season, just jumping on a 1-2 pitch, taking advantage of an elevated pitch, and just crushing it into the bleacher seats and left.
Extra base hits in today's game are brought to you by Kruger Seeds, your local seeds dealer. Visit KrugerSeed.com today. That's KRUGER Seed.com. And that certainly is going to qualify, and it is going to fire up this Rebel squad. If there's one thing that's really exciting about being in Fort Dodge, yes, you've got the great matchups. Yes, you've got all the talent. But it's the atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
It's the girls just getting after it each at bat. And sometimes I wonder how difficult it is the week after the tournament's over. Are you more exhausted from playing softball or all the cheering, all the the home run chains and all that type of extra stuff? And to do that as the leadoff player of the contest, when again the elephant in the room is that this Northeast squad is seen as something of an underdog. Boy, it's a shot of adrenaline in your arm.
It is, and we were talking in the game on this field beforehand that we don't know if the voices are going to hold up long enough to be able to scream and cheer as long as they should if they make a deep run. But you can't ask for a better start as an 8 seed. Yeah, like you said, everybody's looking down on you. You're going up against the defending champs. Nobody's going to give you a chance. And Madison Cleaver says, hey, watch us with that home run.
Emma Kiergaard chases one outside the zone and strikes out, but I love her attitude. Immediately, she doesn't hang her head. She doesn't get upset. She immediately starts talking with Leah Mangelson, who's now at the plate, giving her a little bit of advice, giving her a scouting report, and kind of saying, hey, sometimes that's how it works in softball. Some of the early batters are a little bit of scouts or guinea pigs saying, hey, I may end up getting an out here, but if I can pass along information down the line, and that's immediately what Kiergaard did. Mangelson now looking at a 1-1 count.
Yeah, with your top of the order, you want as few guinea pigs as possible. You want as much communication happening. So by the time you get to the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, everybody kind of knows what they might be able to see. Obviously, things can change, but you got a pretty good idea at that point.
Mangelson doesn't get a lot on that one. In fact, I don't even know if that would have stayed in fair territory, but it does not matter as Panther, Jillian Panther, the senior, and an imposing figure standing at first there. She swallows that one up in the glove, and now will come up Ella Trenkamp, the right fielder.
What a name, Jillian Panther at first base. And like you said, she's a force, and she's going to be one to watch here today for Iowa City, Regina. I mean, this Regal lineup is just loaded up and down the batting order all throughout the field. They've got talent to spare and find themselves down early. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond. You mentioned they had a little bit of a scare in that semifinal in the regional to Cardinal, but they were able to get past it and get back here to state.
Panther, I have no idea if she is pursuing going on to play college sports at all, and obviously growing up in Hawkeye country, but With a name like that, how fitting would it be if she somehow ended up at UNI?
There you go. Oh, my goodness. I can see it now. That's a marketer or a sports information director's dream right there.
Trenkamp behind the count, 0-2. They set up outside, tried to check her swing, and was not able to. She'll go down on a strikeout, but the damage done. 1 run on 1 hit. Nobody left on base. 1-0 after the first half of the inning is complete. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
And fans, Central College has you covered with career-building programs with tuition less than $20,000 a year and tons of scholarships. It's the best decision ever. Apply today at central.edu. Well, we went around the horn for the Regals. We'll do the same for the Rebels, and that's going to be a tough one to differentiate, but we'll do our best as the game goes on. Madison Cleaver, the junior, will be tossing to Bailey Petrie, who is behind the plate. Allie Kane plays at first. Caitlin Hansen at second. Emma Kiergaard, the shortstop, and Leah Mangelson at third will hold there, as coming up is Avery Keys with a .419 batting average, and Cleaver is going to be tested out of the gate. Keys, Laughlin, and Kessler batting .419, .610, and .538 respectively. So if she can find a way to maybe get out of here 1, 2, 3, or even strand a runner or two, but keep that 0 on the scoreboard right now, I'm sure Cleaver will take that arrangement.
Yeah, and you say tested in the first, obviously with those 3 batting average, that's a big test, but I think she's going to be tested all game. This Regal squad bats .395 as an offense. That's tops in the state, and it's why they've had success.
Chopped back to Cleaver, and she's able to dig that out of her glove. Quickly fires over to Kane, and she's got the first out of the game. And believe me, as silly as it may sound, right out of the gate, there's a huge difference between, and that's one of the reasons we can go back and congratulate Webb for recovering after that first at-bat. But it just really brings the whole thing down when you can get that first out, when you can say, hey, it's the same game we've been playing all season, the same game we've been playing all our lives, but it's the biggest of stages. And so sometimes people can get a little bit spooked by the lights, by the crowds, and Cleaver just trying to get in. This is going to be knocked over to the shortstop. Firing in time is Emma Kiergaard, and Kane scoops that up for out number 2. Nice job by the first baseman to come up with that cleanly.
You know, I think I blinked and Danny Laughlin got to first base. That is going to be really interesting to see how tough Northeast has to make transfers. They have to throw clean, because now I see why Danny Laughlin is hitting over 600. She takes maybe a second, and she's at first base already. Just incredible speed.
Yeah, that's a player that does not necessarily need to hit the ball far.
No.
In fact, quite honestly, she can probably more often than not say, if I hit it to the left side of the infield, more often than not, I'm going to beat the exchange. 0-1 the count. Swinging, chopped at, just gets past the glove of Kane at first. Might have had a little bit easier play there if she was a righty, but the southpaw reaches over with the backhand, and it just escapes her. But yet, that was a tight window between her glove and staying fair. And so it's Courtney Kessler who gets the first hit of the contest for the Regals.
You've got, like you said, reaching across the body. That's never an easy play, whether you're playing it up, playing it down. Then you also got the base to contend with, and you got to make sure you're out in front of it, so that takes away your reaction time. It was a really tough play, and hence why they don't punish her with a frivolous error there.
Ella Trenkamp backing her up in right field and getting that in quickly. As you talked about, this Iowa City squad has got a lot of speed all over the place and trying to keep that to a one-base hit, and they did. Swinging through that was Webb, and the pitcher's going to see if she can't create some run support for herself, but she quickly finds herself down in the count, 0-2.
Yeah, she's got to get herself back to a no decision right now, down 1-0 right out of the get-go. Good opportunity with 2 outs.
This is going to be popped up but foul, and we'll head over the third base side dugout that the Regals occupy, and they will be occupying as long as they're in this tournament. As the 1 seed, they're always going to be the home squad and get that advantage of batting last. Looking to deliver is Cleaver. She rocks, comes home with it. Low and scooped up by Petrie. That will keep Kessler platooned at first.
Yeah, we're going to see if I really don't think this is going to be too much of a speed oriented contest. Neither team steals bases very much, so I think it is going to have to be a true kind of station-to-station ball game.
Swinging and getting just a piece of that was Webb. I don't know if the audience at home was able to, but we were able to hear the faintest of ticks there.
Very faint.
And quite honestly, because it changed the direction of the ball so little, if it hadn't made that sound, the inning may be over. But Indeed, Webb did get a piece of it. And again, that one a little bit louder, but that same kind of idea that the pitcher, Cleaver, trying to go outside on Webb. The feeling there might be with Webb batting .359 and has got some power. Hey, if we're going to give her a hit, I'd rather her spray one out to left than pull one to right.
Right.
Takes a look at one that did not miss by much. That's one of those where you say, good eye, and at the same time, you pull your collar back and go, whew, that could have been an ugly one had it been any closer to the strike zone.
Well, and you also think with a 1-2 count, you've been in swing mode for so long, that's a tough pitch to lay off.
Right into the glove of Emma Kiergaard. She takes a couple of steps to her left and comes up with the third and final out. No runs on 1 hit, 1 left on base. We'll head to the second with the visitors, the Northeast Rebels, leading 1-0. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Living your best life means something different to everyone, especially when it comes to healthcare. That's why Mercy One offers compassionate, personalized care. We are here for you with one team of experts, providing access to the primary care and highly rated specialty care you need, easily and conveniently. So go ahead, live your best life. We're with you every step of the way. Mercy One, your best life, our one purpose.
You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Eric Zamora here with the play-by-play. Daniel Versteg, our color commentator. Justin Wolber, our engineer, our producer, and really the man doing all the hard work. And then Peter Tarpey, our camera operator out on the third base side. And for Northeast, they'd love to have this half inning go a while. Yeah, maybe put up a crooked number, but at least try to make the pitcher of Iowa City, Ashley Webb, work, as a 1-2-3 would probably give some momentum going to the Regals. And as the road team here, in essence, even though it's a neutral site, you always say in hockey a good period as a road period is one where the score stays the same. This is chopped slowly to the third baseman, and Chambliss able to run onto it and record the out at first. Same thing can be said here. I mean, right now, Northeast would take 2 or 3 of the next innings, if they're getting zeros, but so are Iowa City, they'll take that. Even better that they've got a lead. And the longer this game goes on with the Rebels on top, I really believe that all of the Northeast squad came in wanting a win, but as that game goes on with the lead, they're expecting it more. They start to see that dream that they've had of moving on to the semifinals come to fruition. And sometimes you've seen some teams who come in as the 1 seed or the 2 seed. They're kind of expecting a victory, and all of a sudden panic starts to set in by the 4th or 5th if they're trailing. And I've already seen 2 7 seeds and an 8 seed advance in the upper division. So this one's going to be a fun one as Ashley Webb gets ahead early in the count, 0-2 on Caitlin Hansen.
Well, yeah, and to your point as well, when it comes to, like you said, just kind of keeping the score at bay, Northeast has all the confidence in the world in Madison Cleaver that she can pitch around these Regals of Regina and hopefully, keep them off the board, keep it a 1-run ball game, and like you said, by the time you get to the 6th inning, you're starting to panic and you're starting to do things out of character. And, at that point, that could really benefit the Rebels late in this game.
Allie Kane is a lefty. We saw her over at first, so I was going to say a left swinger, but she's the full southpaw as this one goes upstairs and outside. And meanwhile, Ashley Webb is starting to work herself into a groove. Cleaver was able to knock a dinger in the first at bat, but since then she's recorded 5 straight outs and 3 strikeouts in those 5 batters. Now, not sure if she's trying to get Kane to chase, but first couple of offerings, and she's a little bit off the mark.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a sign of an offense. When you get the first hit, things start rolling and you start building a rhythm. Same can be said for a pitcher. You allow a hit, a walk, maybe to start an inning, or a home run in this case. You get an out right afterwards, like I'm settled in, I'm doing my thing, I'm playing with my strengths. And like you said, 5 straight batters retired in a row, and Ashley Webb's got to feel like, all right, I'm in control again. As long as my bats can pick me up with a couple of runs, we'll be in good shape.
Allie Kane batting .305, and she fouls one that was low. I'm not sure if that would have been ball 3, but as it ends up, it's a 2-1 count. Swings at one, and that certainly was not going to be called a strike. Now has herself in a 2-2 hole, and that shows you Webb can fall behind and even throw some stuff that might not be the best stuff to swing at, but get you to chase.
She's so deceiving, and she's changing speeds right now. She's really putting hitters in a rocking chair.
Chopped right back to her, no problem for Webb. She'll flip over to Panther, and a quick 1-2-3 inning. So obviously no runs on no hits and nobody left on base. We'll head to the bottom half of the second with Northeast leading Iowa City Regina 1-0. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Welcome back to the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. And first pitch is going to be fouled back by Gabby Supple as she rips that one back into the netting just above us. 0-1 the count. Cleaver digs in, comes home, and Sometimes you'll see the pitcher trying to get the batters to chase. I think that was one where she just kind of missed, and what tips me off there was Petrie was set up right down Broadway and had to kind of dive over to her right for that one.
Right, just had, has had a release point issue with that pitch, but settles in for the next one.
That gets a lazy fly ball out to the left fielder. The sophomore, Cadence Driscoll, gets underneath it, and quickly the first out of the inning.
And, we talked about how Northeast might even feel comfortable with a one-run lead. Obviously, they're going to go for more, but if Madison Cleaver is going to keep inducing soft, harmless contact like that, she's going to be in for a great outing today and an opportunity to really, really make things interesting and two-hit.
Hit by the pitch immediately before I even had an opportunity to bring up that Kennedy Connor batting 6th in their lineup with a .421 batting average and a lot of singles, almost all lone hits, but she finds ways to get on base. She gets checked on by the assistant coach, Tristan Doster, and she seems to be no worse for the wear. Should point out that Craig Stratton is at first and Angela Kessler is the coach.
Yep, and that was Kessler that went over to talk to her. Kennedy Connor just wanted to wave her off like, oh, we're okay. We got a base runner on. I'm fine. It hit my helmet. I'm okay. So it just shows she has trust in her coach, and she just wants to keep playing even after taking a ball off the noggin there.
Angela, the mother of their catcher, Courtney, 0-1 the count, trying to frame one on the outside corner. Petrie unable to get that call, and so the count goes 1-1.
We're talking about how strong this Regina offense is, and how many teams in the state of Iowa can sport a 7-hitter that's nearly hitting 400. Morgan Gann hitting 385 this season, and it just shows how deep this lineup is. You don't get a break 1 through 9. Sometimes offenses, you get the 8 and 9 hitters up, like, okay, we can take these hitters off. You can't take a hitter off, so Madison Cleaver's got to be on her A game every single pitch today if the Rebels want to move on.
Gann with a swing, and it kind of reminds me of if you go on a real long car drive, you're going to be there in driving for 10, 12, 14 straight hours. You never have a moment where you can say, oh, I can take a mental break. Right. That's what this Regals lineup is like, and because of it, it's going to cause for a little bit of road rage if things don't work out. But you've got to be focused at all times, because you know that any misstep could end up being a multi-base hit. There's one hit to the shortstop. She'll go to second for 1 and won't have time to get there for 2. Kiergaard to Hansen. Hansen fired to Kane, and Kane pulled off the bag, but it wouldn't have mattered as Gann was already there with a fielder's choice. But a nice job of Kane to make sure that one didn't hit the fence, and they're all of a sudden throwing the ball around and giving the Regals anything extra, including extra bases.
Yeah, that's the key for a first baseman. When you maybe sense that you don't have a play, and it doesn't matter if your foot's still on the bag, at that point, it's just keep the throw in front of you. First base is already there. She's going to be there. Don't give them scoring position, and that's why you go for the lead runner on that ground ball as well. You keep the Regals from starting to threaten.
Ripped back into the netting just in front of us by Panther, and she finds herself quickly down in the count 0-2. This is the way it's drawn up for Northeast. They know they weren't going to go out here and throw a perfect game.
No.
But if they can go in and each inning give up a runner, strand them at first, they'll take that 9 times out of 10 or 7 times out of 7.
Yes.
And right now, that's the recipe for success.
Absolutely it is. I mean, it goes to what success Madison Cleaver has. And this Northeast team, early on in the year, they really struggled. I mean, they were playing some big schools. They were playing 5A schools, but that tested them, that got them playing their best softball late, and they come into the state tournament winning 12 of their last 14. They've got to be feeling as confident as about any other team here in Fort Dodge right now.
On an 0-2 pitch, Cleaver misses outside, but there was a big sigh of relief from the Iowa City cheering section as that one was indeed called a ball. However, she comes back, and it's going to be Cleaver picking up her first strikeout of the contest. and we will head to the third with a 1-0 Northeast lead. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion. Because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
Welcome back. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. We have got quarterfinal action in Class 2A with the 8 seed Northeast Rebels leading the 1 seed Iowa City Regina Regals by a score of 1-0. Up at the plate is Piper Isbell. She's the designated player, the 8-hitter. And following her will be Olivia Chambers, and then it's back to the top of the order. In some circumstances, you'd say, well, it's not a good sign if we're leading off the third with our 8, 9, and 1. We only had one person get on base. Right. But that person who did, Madison Cleaver, touched them all and brought herself home. So not a bad spot for the Rebels to find themselves in. 1-1 the count, and swinging at one low and outside, unable to catch up with it, is Isbell.
Yeah, you mentioned the one hit. Each team's got one hit so far, but Northeast's one hit was a loud one, an exclamation point off the bat of Cleaver. That really got things obviously started on the scoreboard. And but like we've talked about before too, Ashley Webb has settled down. She's retired 6 in a row, and now her goal is to just keep picking up outs, get the bats back up, and give themselves a chance to fight for that one run back.
Hit softly down the third base side, but foul. Isbell batting .265. She's a junior and is looking to see if she can't get some base runners on for Chambers, the center fielder, and then the top of the order with Cleaver, Kiergaard, and Mangelson looking to add to that number. This one's going to be ripped back, but again, foul. That'll keep the count at 2-2.
You know, Northeast is feeling pretty good right now. Obviously, they're getting some great pitching, but if they want to feel really confident here in the next few innings, got to get a base runner on, got to be able to figure out something against Ashley Webb, but haven't been able to since that home run.
And swinging through is Isbell. Does get a little tick on it, but it goes right into the glove of Courtney Kessler, and she'll get credited for the putout. And Olivia Chambers comes to the plate.
And we talked about Iowa City's offense, Iowa City Regina, their offense. Northeast's offense is pretty potent as well. This bottom of the order might not put up the numbers that Regina's offense does this season, but up and down the lineup, you still have to respect Northeast's offense and their ability to they put up 7 runs a ball game this season.
A healthy cut by Chambers on the first one. This one tapped softly down the third base side, and Chambliss not able to get over there in time. You can make the argument, maybe see if that one just takes a desperation hard left. I don't think it would have changed a thing.
Right.
But we definitely know that there was no chance she had at Chambers. Chambers hit that one, and kind of like she knew, well, didn't get what I wanted on that, but maybe I did. And before that ball was about 3 feet from the box, she was already trucking it down first base and in safely.
Yeah, if Chambliss was going to make the play on it, it had to be quick. But if she was going to make that decision to to maybe just see what happens. You let it roll, but you don't want to then ignore the runner either. You gotta be very careful with that.
And it was spinning counterclockwise, but again, I don't think there was any chance that had. I mean, it was moving, but it was moving very, very little. Chambers runs to second, but didn't realize that it was actually Cleaver getting a piece of it on a foul tip, so that'll bring the count to 1-1, and Chambers will retreat back to first.
Yeah, the grounds crew does too good a job here at Fort Dodge to let some kind of rock get in the way to turn a softball. This field's in pristine condition today.
This one's going to be popped up. Laughlin will get underneath it, backed up by Gann, but won't need her. The senior squeezes the glove and picks up a big second out, especially when you consider that you talked about Cleaver's numbers being a little surprising in how many runs she knocks in as a leadoff batter. Well, that's exactly what they wanted, was to get her up with somebody on base. So that's a big second out, not an opportunity for her to try to repeat the feat, but do so with double the price.
Yeah, but right now she's the only one that's left the infield, and so she's a really tough batter as that one's beat out by Kiergaard.
Just there in time. Kiergaard, if she took any time to look at her work and see where that ended up, she's going to get called out. A fantastic job by Clark. She played hot potato and got that out of her possession as quickly as possible. As we take a look at the replay, kind of a glove, arm, and scoop throw all in one motion, and Panther was there, and if anybody's going to get that out, it's going to be the tall Panther reaching over, but a good job of Kiergaard of hightailing it down the first base side, and this creates an opportunity for Leah Mangelson to try to add to that lead.
And I don't even know if Jillian Panther even gave her second baseman Clark a chance to make that play, because that's why she was standing in front of the base. She was going to say, okay, well, if she beat it out, we're good. We're just not going to do anything crazy. But Clark made a great effort for it and actually made it a close play, just didn't pick up the out, and now two base runners on here for the Rebels.
Mangelson with a big first swing and unable to catch up to that one. Mangelson is the sister of Bree Mangelson, who is their pitching and hitting coach, also plays at Coe College. So they were at the World Series this year. Yeah. Taking a look at a low pitch and chopping it foul. She's down on the count 0-2.
This Northeast program has had success many years. Of course, that 2020 run, they went to the semifinals. That was the only other time this program's been to state. Coach Eversmeyer's done a great job, whether it's been the older sisters of some of these players or this generation. They've got a good thing going at Northeast.
Takes a look at a strike on the outside corner, and Webb has been efficient as she gives up 2 hits but leaves both of them no runs. So we'll head to the bottom of the third still with a 1-0 score. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future, with energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Fans, official state tournament merchandise is now available. It's time to get your smartphones out. Just scan the QR code on your screen or visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match your style.
Quick first out on a bunt to third, and now we're back to the top of the order for the Regals.
So Mangelson comes up with the out, and we'll go Keys, Laughlin, and Regina's hoping to see Courtney Kessler involved as well.
I mean, I like the aggressiveness from Iowa City Regina, but when you get an out on the first pitch, that really kind of changes the whole complexion of the inning. It takes away an opportunity, takes away a sacrifice potential later on in the inning, and just kind of puts you in more of a, all right, we got to get things going now because we don't have that much more to play with.
Keys with an inside-out swing. That will drop in front of the left fielder, and Driscoll quickly gets it back in. Daniel, I agree with the thought process. The issue, though, is you're at that point of the season where early in the season you're like, hey, we'd love to go out and play a fundamentally sound game from top to bottom, regardless of the result. Here it's at that point where you're like, if we play our C game but somehow advance, that's better than playing a flawless game. And so it's kind of like if Clark rips one to dead center, it goes 198 feet and into the glove of Chambers, you go, okay, statistically, if we do that enough, we like our opportunities there. But at the end, it's all the same. It's a one-pitch out.
Right, exactly. And it worked out. You get a base hit here. It's obviously hindsight would be 20/20 in a scenario. But yeah, you need to be aggressive at the plate. I'm not saying you got to watch a middle center cut go by, but be selective. You need base runners. You're only down a run, so that helps too. Just got to be thinking about it.
They find the gap in left center field, and this should be extra bases. Coming around his Keys. She'll be waved home. It's going to be a stand-up triple for Laughlin, and she has got her squad back even at one apiece.
So much for my thought process of not wasting the first out. The top of the order comes back up the second go-around and really has Madison Cleaver figured out now. A single and a triple, and this is the Regal offense we've been waiting to see the first two innings.
Extra base hits in today's game are brought to you by Kruger Seeds, your local seeds dealer. Visit KrugerSeed.com today. Going back to that thought, sometimes being aggressive, laying down those bunts is going to change the dynamic of the infield. It's kind of like the old saying of arguing, balls and strikes for further calls. Here, if you lay some down, then all of a sudden the infield maybe needs to play in a little bit more. You swing the bat fully, and some of those are going to find gaps. And not to get on a tangent, but that's why I can't stand when people say you can't bunt at a no-hitter. Well, at what point? Because at some point, then you can't bunt on, let's say, fifth inning on, well, then the whole infield can just back up, and it's harder to get them through. Yeah. So everything is fair in love, war, and softball. And here, it's a ballet where right now Iowa City's trying to get Northeast to set up in a manageable formation. No play to go anywhere but to first, and so Kessler will sacrifice herself. It's a 4-3 putout for the second out, but Laughlin comes around to score, and quickly Regina has flipped the script, and the Regals lead 2-1.
Yeah, what Iowa City Regina's doing is, playing enough small ball that the Northeast defense and infield has to respect the game. And like you said, it may creep a corner infielder in, it might shallow up the middle a little bit, and just gives you that much more opportunity to, like you said, float one into the shallow outfield and get a base runner on. And now Iowa City Regina's back in the lead here.
In poker, they refer to it as changing gears, and that's exactly what they're doing. You talked about them playing enough small ball.
Yes.
You can play a little bit of small ball, try to see if you can't get that infield to creep in a little bit, and then just absolutely rip one against that formation.
Yep.
It's you take what's given, not necessarily your game plan, but whatever game plan matches what you're seeing out there. 0-2 the count to Webb, who is sitting pretty here. Coming into the half inning, was down on the scoreboard 1-0, and now is looking at a good situation here in the bottom of the third.
Oh, a little bit of change of speed.
Yeah, late swing there. Webb can't catch up to it, but the damage is done as 2 runs are scored on 2 hits, and we will head to the 4th inning with Iowa City Regina on top 2-1. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, an Iowa farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau. As proud title sponsor of the state softball tournament, the Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a vibrant future for Iowa through partnerships and programs that help cultivate individuals with great character, a strong work ethic, and exceptional leadership skills. Making it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment that takes a lot of support. That's why we provide millions of dollars in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence. The well-being of Iowa students is also very important to Farm Bureau. That's why we provide concussion insurance coverage at no cost for all students in grades 9 through 12 who participate in a sanctioned sport. As just one of only 7 states to provide this coverage, it's just another way we're striving to support Iowa's outstanding young leaders. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau, congratulations to all the players and coaches on an outstanding season, and good luck in the tournament.
You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Well, we see some of the fans here. The temperatures not as warm as you typically expect to see this week in Fort Dodge. Yet a little surprised to see as many long sleeves as we do, but hey, whatever works for you, especially out in the shade. There's one hit well out to the gap in right field, and it's gone. It won't matter where exactly it was coming down, as that was over the 200-yard line, and Trenkamp, for the second time in 4 innings, starts things off with a leadoff homer, and the Northeast Rebels draw back even, this time at 2s.
Man, it is quite the turn of events. You know, Iowa City Regina had to work not super hard, but a lot harder to get their 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And then Northeast just cracks one over the fence, and they tie the ball game back up. It's totally different, and I'm shocked to see 2 runs and 2 home runs on the board here for Northeast.
Driscoll comes to bat, and I guess Northeast is going with the Happy Gilmore philosophy of, hey, it's so much easier if I just get a run in one swing.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about all that other stuff. 1-0 the count as Driscoll grounded out to the third baseman, Chambliss, her first time up, and seeing if maybe she can't poke one to the outfield. And, you know, Regina got a couple of runs in the same inning. Northeast will see if they can't take a page out of their playbook.
And, you know, I was thinking just now, man, Coach Eversmeyer, he's loving the fact that they tied the ball game up, but, man, does he want to see one of those home runs with runners on. A lot of solo shots, they're good and all, but you need a 2 or a 3-run blast to kind of really put a dent in the ball game. So obviously he's going to take it. He's not going to be picky, but in a perfectionist coach's mind, you really want runners on base in those scenarios too.
Well, that's the definition or the issue with a leadoff home run.
Yes.
Is we always know there's no such thing as a leadoff 3-run home run.
Right.
Although I guess now in Major League Baseball you can do that in extra innings, but
That's true.
Hold that thought. That one just dips underneath the glove of Chambliss, and I'm going to give her some credit there. The way it was rolling, that one looked like it was going to bounce right into her glove, and then it was almost like it just flattened out at the last second and slipped underneath as if the Rebels were controlling it with some sort of device. But that one, you're expecting a bounce. Maybe you say, if I get that down, but if she puts that on the ground, then more likely it's going to jump up and hit her in the forearm. Right. So she's kind of in that situation where no matter what I do, I don't think I'm getting a good result. No play, as running in was Chambliss, but speedy down the line was Hansen, and she's got her squad in business as the first 3 batters have reached safely here.
Yeah, Northeast is on a tear right now, and Coach Kessler comes out of the dugout for Regina. You just watch this replay. They had no chance. I mean, you get the ball by the time she's a step away from the base, and that is a wise play by Chambliss. You know, a lot of players, I think, in that scenario would try to play hero ball, say, I'm going to throw a 150-mile-an-hour fastball over to first base and make a play, and then it shoots into the corner. It's a great play to just keep the ball in your back pocket. Yeah, you surrendered 2 runners on, nobody out, but it's a whole heck of a lot better than surrendering an unearned run on an error and putting another on third or some other scenario like that.
And how about this? Caitlin Hansen, a junior, she's known as K2. Carly Hansen, her 8th grade sister on the team, is known as K3 because They had an older sister who is
yep.
also a K, and she's the OG, the K1.
Oh,
Coming
course.
up to bat is Allie Kane, batting .305 on the season. She chopped one back to Webb, her only time up. That was back in the second inning.
Yeah, Northeast right now, they're starting to kind of get what Iowa City Regina was getting in the third inning, the second time through the order. They've seen Ashley Webb once, they've got the experience, and now they're able to start, okay, I might know what's coming. I know how to time it up now.
That one's going to slip away from Kessler, and good job there, both indicating to the runners immediately did Kane, hey, you're going to get to advance a base, but then she put up the hold-up sign, and that's particularly a smart move. I think that they would have been dead to rights if they tried to come home with it. But now you've got a situation where you've still got 2 outs. You can manufacture a couple more runs if you do this wisely, either with laying down bunts or by just hitting deep fly balls into the outfield.
Tough part now, the infield's in. It's going to take a perfect bunt or a perfect slap hit, something like that, to get a runner in. And you know with Iowa City Regina's defense, they are going to be on the money. They're going to get to home plate, and they're going to make it a play, whereas some teams probably don't get that opportunity on a small ball scenario.
And honestly, a little bit surprised there that the bunt was – they were looking to lay it down the third base side. You think that maybe you'd want to try to pull it to the first, but obviously it depends on the comfort of the batter. Now a 1-2 count, so a foul would be an out. She'll go back to swinging. Big cut, but can't put that one in. And like I said, that's probably the right decision because she doesn't need to hit the cover off the ball. She just needs to hit it deep enough into the outfield to give an opportunity for Driscoll to tag up and trot home.
Yeah, for Ashley Webb, her goal here in the next couple of batters is get as many outs without the ball in play as possible because, any ball in play in a scenario second and third with 0 or 1 outs is trouble. And Northeast just, they got their only goal right now, barrel to ball, make something happen, make the defense have to make a mistake, and let your base runners do the talking for you, and just got to avoid a strikeout here.
The idea for the Regals has to be if you have to move, you've got to go to first.
Right.
If that's hit straight to you, you have a possibility of maybe going home to Kessler and trying to get that lead runner. But if you're taking a step or two in either direction, at that point, just take the sure thing and keep the damage to a minimum.
And that might be true for the right side. Maybe the left side could get away with that on the infield, but it'll be very close if that ends up happening.
Meanwhile, Webb's trying to make it a moot point. She'd love to just gun down Isbell and not have to worry about a ball in play. And then, boy, it changes the dynamic immensely. We went from runners on second and third, nobody out, now 1 out, and 2 out changes where everybody can go back to playing that regular depth and worry about just getting the out at first. Sets up outside. Great job by Isbell. The moment your team's tied, it's the 4th inning, runners in scoring position, and that urgency is there, and you want to get that bat off your shoulders, but you don't want to chase anything. Good job to even up the count at 2-2. There's one, struck to the shortstop. She thinks about going home, and instead Isbell gets the job done. It's a 6-3 put out, but one of the best outs that Isbell's going to record all season long as she picks up the RBI and she brings home Driscoll. In the meantime, Hansen will slide over to third.
We're going to get a pinch hitter here as well. Jordan Tegler's going to check in for Olivia Chambers after Chambers had a base hit with 1 out in the 3rd inning. So Coach Eversmeyer is trying to change up personnel a little bit here.
And all substitutions are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. This is the fun part of the game, the decisions, the chess moves. And it bugs me, though, that sometimes people will automatically go, well, if this one instance doesn't work out exactly as you'd hoped, well, it must have been a bad one. Well, we're talking about a game where, the best players still get out more often than they get on base, but it's the idea of if we make enough good sound decisions, the odds are going to be in our favor, not to sound like Katniss there.
Well, you put a solid hitter up, Jordan Tegler's a 280 hitter this season. And, the law of averages says this statistically probably isn't going to work. But, man, if it does, it is such a backbreaker. It is just a soul-crushing decision by the Rebels.
An 8th grader, Tegler, takes a look at one outside, and we've seen this a couple of times. It's almost developing into a pattern. Webb gets ahead early in the count, then she wants to see if she can test the Rebels outside the strike zone, and for the most part, they've been pretty patient at the dish. This time it's chopped to the third baseman. She'll take it on a couple of hops, fire over to the glove, and Chambliss records the out to Panther. However, a couple of runs scored on 3 hits, 1 left on base, and we will head to the bottom of the 4th with the Northeast squad on top by a score of 3-2. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future, with energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Being your family's grocery store isn't just about having the best butcher cut meat or the freshest produce. It's not about having the highest quality online shopping or experts who handpick your groceries. And it's not just about giving you the most affordable prices. Being your family's grocery store means making sure that you have all of that. And that's why at Fairway Meat and Grocery, it's what we've always been about.
On the opening pitch at the bottom of the 4th, Cleaver misses outside. 1-0, and then comes back with one inside, changing things up on Gabby Supple. Her foul evens the count at 1 apiece. Supple batting .311 coming in and flied out to left field in her first at-bat. She'll chop one over to Hansen. K2 has plenty of time, and obviously that was one of my favorite positions to play. I kind of played all over, but I loved second base because most of your throws are pretty short.
Yeah, exactly. I would have been okay at second base with not as strong of arm. Yeah, you get some exciting plays, and especially in softball, that second baseman is so much more versatile than a lot of people give her credit for. She's got to move and cover second on throwovers. She's got to cover first on bunts. She really roams all over the infield, and that's a very, very tough position to play.
To make the comparisons to softball and baseball, as this one is popped up, shortstop will get underneath it. Kiergaard has no problem, and quickly 2 down. To finish that thought, in baseball, you don't see as much. I mean, it's almost always people are just swinging away.
Right.
Here, you've got the slap hits. You've got the bunts. You've got all the, sometimes, especially with the pitcher being that close to home plate, you might hit one and you don't get much on it. It only goes about 15, 20 feet. What does that mean? That means that the second baseman and shortstop have to move around a ton.
Right.
A little bit of a drift at the last second. Driscoll made it look exciting, but she comes up with the out, and it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the 4th. So we'll head to the top of the 5th with Northeast on top 3-2. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Hey fans, Central College has you covered with career-building programs and with tuition less than $20,000 a year and tons of scholarships. It's the best decision ever. Apply today at central.edu. Madison Cleaver will start things off, and she'd love to start things off the same way she started the game, and that was with knocking one over the left field fence for a home run. But I think at this point of the contest, she'd settle for just getting on base and passing the baton to the top of the order.
Well, it's been such an entertaining ball game. Yeah, you want to keep the ball moving. You want to keep the offense rolling. So far, we haven't had a separation between these two teams of more than a run.
Chopped all the way back to deep left field, starting to encroach maybe 20-25 or so from the, probably deeper than that, from the wall, but it's going to end up being a long fly ball out, and it will bring Emma Kiergaard to the plate. Kiergaard 1 for 2 in the contest.
This part of the order has really been productive here for Northeast. The top 2/3, I guess, of the order have done a lot for the Rebels, and thankfully one run has been enough most of the time, and in a ball game that has been very, very close.
Kiergaard batting .429, and she leads the team in a couple of statistical categories, with including runs and triples and stolen bases. You mentioned not a team that likes to steal a ton,
right,
but she did get to double digits. And then the one that you don't want to lead the team in, hit by pitches. She's got a couple of those on the season.
Yeah, a couple of bruises and blue marks. Yeah, if there's anybody that's going to be stealing bases for Northeast, it's her. She's got 10 of the 36 stolen bases this season. Her speed's been so valuable.
Chop to Clark, and she'll fire over to Panther. Quickly 2 down in the inning, and that's what you're looking for if you're Iowa City Regina. It's not just that you want that 0 put up there, but if you can make quick work of your opposition, gives you a little bit more momentum, and you're hoping that you can end up, trying to steal some back. As you pointed out, it's been a 1-run affair each time, as this one is going to be hit into left center field for a base hit. In fact, with both the lead changes, we first had the score tied. So literally, we've had 1 run scored at a time, and each team has tasted a lead. Right now, it's the Rebels on top, but obviously the Regals have the advantage of last at bat.
Yes, and that's going to be the biggest thing. Who gets the last good scoring opportunity, and Iowa City Regina is probably going to have that, because you know one thing, they've threatened. Now the last half inning was kind of an anomaly. They went down 1-2-3 on 6 pitches, so very efficient by Madison Cleaver. But every other inning they've been able to threaten in some form, and when you let a team do that, they're going to take advantage at some point.
Smoke to the third baseman, but she gets the out, and for Ashley Webb, that is the first inning she does not record a strikeout, but she doesn't mind, as it keeps the score 3-2. We'll come back in the bottom of the 5th inning with Northeast on top. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament, presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future, with energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Living your best life means something different to everyone, especially when it comes to healthcare. That's why Mercy One offers compassionate, personalized care. We are here for you with one team of experts, providing access to the primary care and highly rated specialty care you need, easily and conveniently. So go ahead, live your best life. We're with you every step of the way. Mercy One, your best life, our one purpose.
You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau and the Girls Union Network powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Welcome back. It is the bottom half of the 5th inning, and it's been a pretty clean one as Northeast leads with 3 runs on 7 hits. For the Regals, it is 2 runs on 3 hits. Iowa City is stranded 2. Northeast is left 4 on the base pass, and neither has committed an error. This is hit out to right center field. It's going to drop between them. Perfect location of that spot, as it looked like for a chance both the outfielders Chambers and Trenkamp were going to have a chance to get to it. Instead, neither is able to, and just what the doctor ordered for the Regals, it's going to be a leadoff double, and that means it's an extra base hit, which in today's game are brought to you by Kruger Seeds, your local seeds dealer. Visit Kruger, Kruger, KrugerSeed.com today.
Like you said, both players had a chance at that ball, but when you're talking about a ball in the gap and a hit like that, that's sometimes a bad sign because that means they're not communicating. I was more worried that they were going to clobber into each other. Thank goodness at the last second they were on a path off enough that they didn't run into each other. They just ran by each other, but that was scary. An outstanding double by Jillian Panther, and I believe we talked about the opportunity if she were to go to Northern Iowa to play for the Panthers. I did just look back at my notes. She's going to play for Wartburg, so she's going to be a Knight. We don't have the opportunity for Panther to play for the Panthers, but I think she'll do fine in Waverly.
When you take a look at that, and as you said, they were kind of running towards each other and backing up. I think it looked a little bit worse from our vantage point than it actually was, but you're right. Sometimes in sports, that's the best place to put a ball or a puck or whatever you're playing. I can think of that a ton of times in hockey where if you throw a puck at 2 opponents who are right by each other, it kind of neutralizes them, and that's kind of where that ball ended up. A little bit of a hesitation there as Panther started to stutter step on her way from second to third, but the official lets her know that Clark did indeed get a piece of it. And how about this? Allie Clark batting .329. She's their 9th hitter. That tells you all you need to know about what this Regal squad can dial up offensively.
Oh, look at Madison Cleaver get fired up after striking out the bottom of the order. Yeah, normally an ace pitcher like her would not get that excited to strike out a 9-hole batter. But like you said, with this Regina offense nearly hitting 400 as a team, every batter, we talked about it earlier, you have to be on your A game in the circle, every batter. And Cleaver's been that up until this pitch.
And that is situational, too. You know, you're clinging to a 1-run lead, bottom of the 5th inning, a leadoff double. That strikeout is huge, but it's almost negated by that pitch. In essence, it's like the batter, Clark, sacrificed herself to get that runner over to third. So now they're going to have to be extra careful with this top of the lineup, which, as we've already talked about, is tough waters to try to weave through.
Going to get a pinch runner, and it's going to be Natalie Gann to run at third, for Jillian Panther. So trying to get some extra speed on the base paths.
Gann is related to Morgan Gann, they're cousins, and this is another substitution. Substitutions and pitching changes in today's game are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Oh, almost had an opportunity to make a big play there and was too busy finishing up the live read, but fouled back and then actually hit off of the catcher, Petrie, before that one rolled right in front of us and honestly nearly just tucked into the only spot here that can keep a ball.
Yeah, thank goodness for this netting with where we're at. I don't know about you, Eric. I don't think I'd have a chance at any of these foul balls.
I'll be honest. One, I feel much better. I feel cool that I've been doing this long enough where I've stopped flinching.
Yes.
I know the ball's coming my way, but I have faith in the product in front of me.
That's been the toughest thing to learn in my broadcasting of high school softball and baseball is I don't have to flinch all the time.
Pitch outside and upstairs 2-2. Where I get upset is at the basketball tournament. we can make a nice move.
Yeah.
Ball's bouncing our way. We can make a catch.
Maybe get a couple.
Maybe get a couple of the student section fans to give us some props. Going down swinging.
We can show our athleticism. Yeah.
Is keys, and for a pitcher in Cleaver who has been, as Crash Davis of Bull Durham fame would say, has been a little bit more democratic than her pitching counterpart Webb. She picked up 2 strikeouts in the absolute biggest of moments. Runner on second to lead off. She gets a K. That runner gets to third, and she picks up another strikeout. And right now, you can throw out any sort of positioning ideas. They're just saying, hey, find a way to get an out. And perhaps, could this be it? No. Diving over was Kiergaard. Didn't really have a play, but I appreciate the effort nonetheless.
Yeah, that play right there just shows what this state tournament means to all these players. I don't think Kiergaard had a snowball's chance in a oven to make a play, but what did she do? She got full extension, laid out, got the uniform dirty anyway, just to show that she cares and wants to make a play.
Slap to the third baseman. She'll throw to first. In time! Mangelson beats the runner Laughlin by a quarter of a step, but that's all she needed to record the third out. And the Northeast Rebels get out of a jam. We'll head to the 6th inning with them still on top, 3-2. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Slade's the place for you!
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Welcome back here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energies. We get ready to start the 6th inning. For the Northeast Rebels out of Goose Lake, Iowa, they will go with Driscoll, Hansen, and Kane due up if the lineup stays the same and we don't have any IMT insurance substitutions. That's going to be fouled back. Going back to finish a thought from the last inning, Kiergaard diving, and as you pointed out, she didn't really have a shot at it. I look at that as, I'm a hockey guy. I do most of my broadcasting. Sometimes a guy will get in a fight not necessarily thinking, I'm going to win this, but to try to fire up the troops, show, hey, I'm here, and it gets everybody else going, man, if he's getting in a fight or he's blocking a shot in a game where we're up by 4 with 2 minutes to go, he's all in. These girls are in that same mentality, and Kiersgaard is going to wear the dirt on her chest and stomach like a badge of honor, saying, hey, we're all in here. There's no shortcuts. And it in a way, it kind of reminds me of the Carlisle tradition of running out every foul ball.
Absolutely. Yeah, it definitely shows the rest of the 8 players on the field. Oh, she's willing to lay out for a ball that she doesn't have a chance to make a catch on. I got to be willing to do anything for my team to win, and especially as an 8 seed, you're going up against the defending champs. It does take all 9 on the field. It takes all 9 in the batting order, and Northeast has gotten that right now to this point in the ballgame.
Driscoll takes a look at ball 2 in the dirt, ball 3 up by her eyes, and even to emphasize that even more, it's also the players who are in the lineup knowing I may only get one chance in this game. Maybe it's going to be a pinch hit. Maybe it's going to be coming in to record the last out. Maybe it's going to be as a base runner, and I've got to be prepared. There's no, hey, we'll give you a few seconds to get yourself situated. You've got to be ready to go at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, like Jordan Tegler in the fourth inning. She came in with 2 outs and as a pinch hitter for Northeast, and she had to be ready. She, put the ball in play, gave herself a chance to drive in a run, but it didn't work out that inning. But she was ready and was able to put the ball in play at least.
K2 just unable to get that in play. It's Caitlin Hansen batting .310 on the season, and that's going to go up slightly as she's 1 for 2 in the contest. Struck out back in the second and got a single. Was the third base runner in the inning in the fourth where Northeast scored 2, so she ended up getting stranded at third. And for the pitcher, Webb, she has had 6 strikeouts in the contest, and all but one of them were off of pitches that the batters were swinging. So she's been offering up stuff in the zone, and Northeast still having a hard time catching up. That's hit right back up the middle. Shortstop has a play, will step on second. That one's going to get away from the first baseman. And in essence, after all is said and done, it's a fielder's choice that Hansen reaches on, but then gets to second. So the out recorded, that was most important for the Regals. But in essence, it's like they let the lead runner get to second and then just took the sure thing at first.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of could view it either way, but I want to highlight Danny Laughlin coming in from center field there. In those kind of plays, that ball can be thrown all over the ballpark. Laughlin comes in from center, backs up the throw from Jillian Panther, and does a good job to make sure what was already a rough play did not get any worse in maybe moving a runner to third or scoring a runner on a ground ball that was to the infield.
And we were just talking about that with the Rebels. The Regals knowing the same thing. A ground ball that's hit softly to the third baseman, and then the center fielder might say, well, I don't have a role in this. You do. Every time a ball is put in play, all 9 position players have something to do or somewhere to be, and there we saw it, and that's just another heads-up play by the center fielder Laughlin and getting everybody else alert to say, hey, just because a ball's not hit your way doesn't mean you don't have responsibilities.
It's why you see the right fielder sprint in from the outfield on ground balls. It's why you see the catcher run up the line. It's why you see maybe third basemen go to backup set. I mean, everybody moves around, like you said, on the ball in play. And if you're caught standing, coaches don't like that. They like their defense to be mobile. They like them to be moving around and quick. And you learn pretty quickly. If you're going to go in, say, to the outfield and just stand around and pick daisies, you're not going to last long in high school softball.
And the ball there actually ended up in fair territory, but it was called dead because it hit off of Kane. So she's still alive at 2-2. That one outside. And I'll throw myself under the bus. As a catcher, I was a big proponent of running down and backing up throws to first. And then one time, very embarrassingly, I had to be explained, but when the ball's hit and there's somebody on second going to third, let's not worry about backing up.
Right.
Let's stay home. Runner on second, 1 out, make it 2, as unable to catch up to that one upstairs was Allie Kane. And you're right, this one's had a great pace to it.
Yes, it's got a great pace, and I just want to highlight how Ashley Webb set up that strikeout. She threw one up and away that was kind of a waste pitch to try and get Allie Kane's eyesight up there, then hits her with a rise ball right over the plate. That's an outstanding job of setting up the hitter, getting her to a spot, looking where she shouldn't be looking for pitches, and getting a huge second out in this inning.
So it's Webb looking in. Big, healthy cut from Isbell, unable to catch up. Should point out that they've credited the first error of the game. That was on Supple's throw. And That's a rough one. I'm okay with it, but in essence, it would have been hard to get Hansen regardless, so it ends up being that she advances a base, but that all goes out the window if they can get another strike here. 0-2, and that's exactly what Ashley Webb does. So no harm, no foul. One left on no hits in the inning and a couple of Ks from Ashley Webb. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th with Northeast on top by a score of 3-2. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Welcome back here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. It is the bottom of the 6th, and taking the whole way was Courtney Kessler. Kessler is signed with Minnesota State, is going to be a Maverick at the next level. So as a St. Cloud State Husky myself, I'll try not to hold that against her. I'll be honest, I don't care too much about Mankato sports outside of hockey. A ball that drops in, a fantastic play. There's a collision there, but she will be given second base. And that one was poked out by Kessler. An aggressive play. Trenkamp did a fantastic job to get a touch on it, but unable to hold on. Kind of one of those.
Now what do we have?
I think she's just coming over to
just giving the
hand
bag.
off and the almost like a football player or a receiver trying to come down with the ball, had it for a moment, but then couldn't hold on through the ground. And there, the fumble ends up meaning that not only does Kessler get on base as a leadoff hit, but she'll also end up at second base as well, due to the interference on the base pass.
Yeah, Allie Kane at first base there for Northeast just got in the way. She was caught watching the play a little bit, and when the ball dropped, Kessler took the opportunity, rounded first, and is awarded second, running into the baseman.
Yeah, aggression pays off there, as there's a whale of a difference between a leadoff single and your leadoff player being at second. The difference being, as we talked about earlier, if the Regals so choose to do, they could try to manufacture this, give up a couple of outs to advance or a couple of bases. However, with Webb, Supple, and Connor coming up, they may decide to roll the dice and instead play it straight up and go for the big number.
Right. Well, they just need one. I mean, that's their goal here in the next 2 innings of work. They just need the one run. But, we didn't really highlight this in the last inning. The fact that Madison Cleaver got out of the 5th inning, allowing a leadoff double without a run on the board, was so impressive. She's basically doing it again here now with the heart of the order up.
Webb takes a healthy cut. She will be heading to Ferris State, so she'll be a Bulldog at the next level. And just interesting to see the back-to-back players both going to schools known for, among other things, hockey.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, both Division II schools, and there are a lot of college softball players on this Regina roster, and they want to continue their high school careers as long as possible. They want to win back-to-back titles for Regina, and they've got an opportunity to do that, as Webb's going to be courtesy run for as well.
Yeah, coming in her place will be Harper Irwin. It's another substitution. And substitutions in today's game are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. Well, in essence, Kessler's aggressive base running, if we take a look at this from the butterfly effect, say, well, she would have gotten to go to second in any situation. But I don't like that logic because it just changes the situation. It changes the game, and perhaps, if they don't have a runner at second, but instead a runner at first, Webb ends up grounding into a double play. As it stands, they've got 2 runners on, and something tells me that Angela Kessler and the Regals are not just thinking tie at this point, but thinking, hey, let's find a way to claw and scratch and get that lead back.
Yeah, you take the lead here, and then Northeast has all the pressure because then they have to score a run to keep the game going. It goes from, you're leading Iowa City, Regina, you're leading the Regals, and then all of a sudden, we need a run, but we only have 3 outs to do it. It totally changes the complexion of the 7th inning if the Regals can take the lead here.
Supple attempts a bunt, and she ends up going through the 5-hole of both the catcher Petrie and the home plate umpire, but it changes the complexion as this one's thrown down by the third baseman Mangelson over to Kane, and they will take that sacrifice as Kessler ends up at third. But the difference there is there's no clock, obviously, in baseball or softball, but there are only so many outs left that you have afforded. And the difference of we've got so many outs, but we're grinding out a lead versus now all of a sudden having to change mentality. And in the essence, those outs or those clocks, which were your friend when you had a lead, now are all of a sudden as much of an adversary as the other team on the field.
Exactly. It's a totally different way of going about it because obviously Northeast could go into the top of the 7th right now wanting a run to make it harder for Regina, but it's a lot different going into the last inning of the ball game, wanting a run for insurance policies than needing a run to keep yourself in the winner's bracket.
Kennedy Connor, 0 for 1 in the game. She's a designated player, hit by a pitch back in the 2nd, and then lined out to the shortstop in the 4th. So she'll bat in the even innings here in the 6th. She takes a look at one upstairs outside, 1-2 the count with a couple of runners not too far from coming home.
Just need a ball in play to give yourself even a chance to score a run.
Takes a look at another one upstairs. Good eye, good patience shown by the batter.
Yeah, because you don't want to be swinging at a pitch outside. That's how you strike out. You need to be swinging at pitches close so you can get something on him and put him in play.
Upstairs,
great
ball
take.
3, and yeah, you're right. It's a battle of wills, really. Every at bat it's the batter saying, "Hey, I'm not going to take what the first offerings are, or maybe I'll foul them off, but I'm going to make you throw something that I want to see." That's exactly what she does. Fell behind in the count, did not matter. Connor draws the base on balls, and now Morgan Gann with the opportunity of her lifetime. Bases loaded, down by a run, just 1 out, and in the pivotal 6th inning with just the 7th due up after this. Right-handed pitcher Cleaver on the left-handed batter, and she gets the call on the opening offering.
And who would have thought the defending champs from Iowa City, Regina, would be down to this point in the ball game, wanting or needing a huge run here late against the 8th seed in the quarterfinals. What a tournament it's been. We've already had one seed go down. That was in Class 4A in North Scott, and man, we might see another 1 seed go down in 2A. And I think a lot of people, if you ask them honestly, this was probably one of the safer picks as a 1 seed.
0-2 the count. Poked at to the third baseman. Knocks it down, keeps in front of her. Does get the out at first. But we have got ourselves a tied ball game. Kessler will come across to score. It's Harper Irwin running for Webb. That ends up at third. Connor to second. And Gann picks up a huge RBI. However, I want to give credit there to Leah Mangelson.
Yep.
She knocks it down, but she doesn't hit it cleanly, and so many times you could panic. You can try to do too much. You can maybe think, well, now I've got to make the play at home. No. Just get what you needed. Laid off by Mangelson, a good decision there, and the out is recorded. That means as Irwin comes across, that run won't count, but how about this? Let's go to a winner-take-all 7th inning when we return. 3-3 between Iowa City, Regina, and Northeast. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, an Iowa farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau. As proud title sponsor of the state softball tournament, the Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a vibrant future for Iowa through partnerships and programs that help cultivate individuals with great character, a strong work ethic, and exceptional leadership skills. Making it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment that takes a lot of support. That's why we provide millions of dollars in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence. The well-being of Iowa students is also very important to Farm Bureau. That's why we provide concussion insurance coverage at no cost for all students in grades 9 through 12 who participate in a sanctioned sport. As just one of only 7 states to provide this coverage, it's just another way we're striving to support Iowa's outstanding young leaders. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau, congratulations to all the players and coaches on an outstanding season, and good luck in the tournament.
Welcome back here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy, as we get ready to start the 7th inning. And at this point, it's like going to a shootout with the remaining innings. Anytime one of these teams ends up with more runs in the inning than their opponent does, that's going to be a game winner for Northeast. They will have coming to plate the bottom of the order, the last batter rather, in Olivia Chambers, but then it's Cleaver and Kiergaard to start things off after that. Big healthy cut there by Chambers, and she finds herself with an 0-1 count.
Now this is the part of the order you want. Olivia Chambers had a base hit earlier in the 3rd inning, and then you get the top up. Of course, Cleaver had that home run in the 1st. Good things happen when the top of the order comes up here for Northeast, and they're going to need a run to put the pressure on Iowa City Regina in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And they've come through when they've needed runs in this ball game. They responded with that Regina 2-run inning with 2 in the 4th, and now they've got a big chance here to take a lead and put the pressure on the Regals in the next half inning.
Chambers smokes one down the third base side now, drills one out to center field. Getting underneath it is Danny Laughlin, a little center fielder on center fielder crime, and so that will bring up Madison Cleaver. Madison Cleaver came into the game with a .446 batting average, just 1 hit, but it was a doozy as it gave her squad a 1-0 lead, and right now is the reason that these two teams are still tied.
Yeah, that home run has been proved to be very consequential in this ball game. It started off the day. It had Northeast up for the majority of the ball game, and like you said, keeps it tied and keeps this, even if both teams don't score or Northeast doesn't score, we're still getting another half inning at least.
Webb delivers a strike to her pitching counterpart. The Northeast Rebels have scored 3 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and they have left 5 stranded. Outside and a ball, Iowa City Regina has scored 3 runs on 5 hits, 1 error committed. They have also left 5 ducks on the pond. 1-1 the count. Setting up outside is Kessler. Tapped out to the first baseman, and Panther will have no problem there. Thought as that ball was rolling kind of slowly towards Panther that she was going to have to scoop and tag, but she's easily able to beat Cleaver to the bag. And so we have got 2 out now, and Emma Kiergaard is all that's left to keep Northeast alive in the top half of the 7th.
Again, the nice thing is this ball game's tied, so if the run doesn't come for Regina in the bottom of the inning, they'll still get an 8th. And like you said, that was a great play by the first baseman, Panther, just staying calm, just realizing, hey, just take it to the bag, and get the 2nd out, and keep things rolling in this 7th.
2-0 on the delivery that misses. And so now an opportunity for Kiergaard perhaps to get a look at a better pitch than Webb was hoping had she instead been ahead in the count. Set up outside, and that's fouled back out of play by Emma Kiergaard, the shortstop.
Yeah,
is a sophomore.
On a hitter's count there, Webb runs inside. It was a strike, and it was on the inside corner to the left-handed hitter. That's such a good location when you know the hitter's going to want to jump on something in the zone, but you need to come back with a strike. You throw one on the black, and you force a foul ball or you force a take, and that's just such a good pitch on that 2-0 count.
The fourth pitch is a ball, though Kiergaard helps sell it a little bit, and then she gets one well out of the zone, so she'll slap and clap her hands emphatically as she races down to first. Didn't need to as she got the base on balls, but she will get amped up and get ready as she's hoping that Mangelson can find a way to advance her. Mangelson came in batting for 40, 1 for 3 in the contest, had a single back in the fifth, but her teammates couldn't advance her from there. Chopped, and that one will be topped foul up the third base side.
Well, Northeast has gotten the base runner on. I mean, I guess you don't know this for sure, but you can assume that a home run would not have been a viable option in this seventh inning, and so you need to be able to manufacture runs. You need to be able to move people around, and they got an opportunity here with 2 outs. It's going to take a hit, obviously, but give them an opportunity to at least get the go-ahead run in the picture.
I'm not sure if Mangelson was fooled there because Kessler set up further outside than that pitch was, and we could have a great vantage point. That was definitely right over that right side edge of home plate, and that one upstairs, so it'll bring the count to 1-2. We've got Mangelson awaiting patiently at first and maybe getting a little impatient, hoping that Leah Mangelson can advance her into scoring position. Outside, laid off of, it was
Great
definitely
take.
A ball,
Great
but that
take.
is tough to lay off of in this situation. I mean, in all honesty, if that's called a strike 3, there's a chance that's the last at-bat for the Rebels in their season, or at least as far as trying to advance to the championship. This one's going to be popped up to the right field line in foul territory, but still caught by Avery Keys, and that will be out number 3. So no runs on no hits. They leave 1 on base, and we'll head to the bottom of the 7th with the Regals with an opportunity to make themselves walk-off winners. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present the state softball tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders. It's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm-strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on an outstanding softball season. And remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
And right off the first pitch, Clark slaps one to the right side of the second baseman, Caitlin Hansen. Hansen got a piece of it, but just unable to hold on. And Clark trying to be the game-winning run. We'll take a look at it on the replay here. Hansen, you can see she definitely got a piece of it, slowed it down, and that was a gapper. Could have been a Kruger Seeds multi-base hit. They'll hit one to the third baseman. A pump fake, but getting it over to third in time is Mangelson. Great decision there. Maybe that ball was kind of rolling on her, slipping on her, and she said, don't force a bad throw. Don't compound the issue. Take your time, make it true, and she fires into the glove of Allie Kane. However, Allie Clark now represents the game-winning run. She stands at second base.
And I was going to mention there, too, it looked like Leah might have even thought about going to second base, but with Clark going on the pitch, she had no chance. So, yeah, that was a great job of adjusting, going to first base, taking the sure out, and now just trying to get two more.
Yeah, you might be right. Mangelson may have been trying to talk herself into a hero play.
Yeah.
I think what probably helped finalize that decision was just body position.
Yeah.
She's lined up to the first baseman. Having to open up her body and turn to second would have been awkward. And
that's how you throw balls into the outfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit, and Mangelson again gloves it, fires into the glove of Kane, and we've got two away, and Clark now stands at third. I wanted to point out, how even has this game been?
Oh, man.
Well, the two teams have had the exact same number of batters come up. Through 6, they had the 8-hitter go through a third time. They were starting with the 9th hitter in the 7th. So both teams between the 6 innings had 26 batters come up. Now, not a bad idea. They'll just intentionally put Kessler on at first, and why not? She's a meaningless runner at this point, and it actually opens up another force out at second, not just at first.
Right, well, and Kessler's been having a great day. She's 2 for 3. She's already driven in a run. She's scored a run. That's a dangerous bat. At this point, the Rebels have done better against Ashley Webb. She's 0 for 2, did walk in the 6th, but they like their chances here against this hitter.
And they'll come home with it upstairs, and it's ball 2. Now, you could say, well, if you like pitching to Supple ahead of Webb, why wouldn't you just intentionally walk her? I like this idea, though, because one, with a left-handed bat, you expect her to maybe pull it to the right side of the infield, and then you've got plays at both second and first. The other thing is it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. If you intentionally walk Webb and then you're errant and end up walking Supple, that's the ballgame. Now you can attack Webb, and if you walk her, okay, you're that cat living with its 9th life, and you've still got an opportunity. So really, with a 3-0 count, it's interesting to say, but I think that they're going to try to throw a strike here, but make sure they don't give anything Webb can hit. It's hit to the third baseman, and Mangelson does it all herself. Leah Mangelson records all 3 outs. The Regals strand 2 runners, but in essence, just the one that mattered at third. And how about this? Some bonus softball coming your way. We will head to the 8th inning. Tied up at 3, you're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future, with energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present the state softball tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders. It's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm-strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on an outstanding softball season. And remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. And we're having so much fun with this one, we said we'll throw in an extra inning at least for free. We want to thank Peter Tarpey, our camera operator, and Justin Wolber, our engineer, our producer, and also our eye in the sky as he just passed along to us. The winner of this game moves on to the Iowa Central Field, the other field here in Fort Dodge, at 3:30 tomorrow, taking on Interstate 35 or Lisbon. And we've just been informed I-35 leads that game 5-1, top of the 6th. Here, it's 3-3, top of the 8th. That's right. In softball, high school softball, we go 7 innings unless more are needed. And that's what we've got here, as coming up to the plate for Northeast is Ella Trenkamp, who has 1 hit in the game, and that one left the yard. Fouled back to even up the count at 1-1. I'm a sports nerd. I love getting into the mindset of the coaches, and as this game develops, the question starts to become, how much is left in the tank of these pitchers?
Right.
You don't want to take them out for any reason, but at some point there may be a case for saying, hey, they're pitching at 80-85% of what they've got, and do we start leaning on other players? And I would imagine if we do see that, that would be Kutu for Northeast or Panther for Iowa City Regina, but we'll cross that bridge if and when we get to it.
Yeah, we got to get there first. And the nice thing about the sport of softball is you don't have to worry about pitch counts and things like that. But like you said, just the regular stamina of a high school softball player becomes a question when you had to exert so much energy. I've been keeping track. Ashley Webb's thrown over 100 pitches here today, and that takes a lot of work when you're exerting everything on a fastball, or you're finessing a changeup, or she's got a little bit of a slider and a rise ball. That takes a lot of energy out of you, let alone just how difficult it is. And but I think both pitchers, with how veteran and good they are, they're going to want to finish this game.
Trenkamp takes a look at strike 2, swings through on strike 3, and that's going to be the first out of the inning. One of the things that I will point out, it's a little bit warmer today than it was yesterday, but still, we've seen some really, really warm days.
Yeah.
The fact that right now it's 75 degrees and fair skies, I'm a huge fan of that, because it's going to allow these pitchers to go deeper rather than if we were seeing something in the high 80s, low 90s.
Yeah, they're not dealing with, heat exhaustion. I mean, you can't get heat exhausted on a day like today. I mean, I've been to Fort Dodge here the last few years covering various teams, and this is the best day, most comfortable day I've experienced at the state softball tournament. I'm sure everybody on the field can agree, outside of maybe the sun's a little bit warm outside of the shade. That's really the only thing wrong with today at this point.
1-1 the count to Driscoll. I'll say this. If today isn't the best day I've seen in Fort Dodge, it was yesterday. In other words, these two have been the top 2 days.
Yep.
And there's also something to be said for these girls right now are running on adrenaline. It's a tied game. They're in the 8th inning. I have a feeling that if they were asked, they could say, I could pitch about 7 more. Nearly losing it in the sun there was Panther, but she recovers, finds it in her glove, and gets it for out number 2.
Oh, don't do that to me, Jillian Panther. She looked down looking for help from her defense, and she didn't know where the ball was. I thought she was going to misplay it. I thought they were going to get an extra pitch. She luckily looked back up at the right time and saw it. Man, that gave a scare to me, and I'm not even a fan of one of these two teams, just a fan of softball.
And she has chuckles now. I can tell you that if that had dropped foul and then Driscoll had gotten on base, not the same smiles and laughs we would have seen out of 16. But she awaits, as now it is Caitlin Hansen, the second baseman, trying to do some damage with a 1-0 count. Takes a look at one outside and slaps it. Actually, that ends up getting kicked by the batter on deck, Allie Kane. And we've got ourselves an even count at 1 apiece.
Well, with 2 outs in the inning, of course, the outlook of scoring a run in this inning kind of, goes down a little bit. But, of course, Northeast has been able to put runs on the board without needing base runners, because they've hit 2 solo home runs. That's been the majority of their runs here today. You can never count them out of producing a run in an inning.
A big swing there, trying to see if she couldn't get a Kruger Seeds extra base hit. Instead, it's a 1-2 count. Webb trying to finish off the half inning and misses low for ball 2.
Caitlin Hansen's been a really big bat here for the Rebels. She's put the ball in play 2 times. She's reached base 2 times. And at this point in the ball game, you just need a base runner. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't need to be pretty. Just need to get on.
Upstairs and taps that foul. To give her a little bit of credit there, Hansen, as you mentioned, singled in the 4th, reached on a fielder's choice in essence, and then there's an error.
Was an error, yeah.
But because of her speed, that's what caused the error.
Right.
If she is getting down the first base line slow or taking her time, then they likely are able to get her as well. She'll fly out to the second baseman, Allie Clark, and we'll go back for a second time with the Regals, the 1 seed, with an opportunity to walk it off. Bottom of the 8th, 3-3 the score. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future, with energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present the state softball tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders. It's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm-strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on an outstanding softball season. And remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
And right out of the gate, Gabby Supel finds the gap in right center field over the second baseman between the 2 outfielders. And for the second inning in a row, the Regals will have the leadoff runner get on and represent the game-winning run and a date in the semifinals.
And there's the replay. You just see her take it the other way, dropping in front of the center fielder. A nice piece of hitting. And yeah, the winning run's on here for Iowa City Regina. They went aggressive in the last inning. They moved a runner with a ball in play, and then they bunted her over to third again. I'll be interested to see what they do with Supel here.
Connor, batting .421 prior to the game today, has actually only had 1 official at-bat, has reached safely twice thanks to a base on balls and being hit by a pitch. And a left-handed batter, so obviously changes things a little bit differently. If she pulls one, it's more of an ideal situation for Northeast if they're going to try to either pull turn 2 or at least get the lead runner. That one will get away from the catcher. Petrie had the glove down and it just slipped away, so advancing on the wild pitch is Gabby Supel, and now the game-winning run is halfway home.
And with no outs as well, that means you can do pretty much anything in your playbook to get that runner in because you have 2 outs to play with now.
With a 3-1 count and that thought goes out the window. I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised there if they got her to try to chase and say, well, sure, the worst thing in the world here is not putting her at first. The worst thing in the world is she finds a way to advance the runner. Right. Now with a 3-2 count, you might go back to, okay, let's see if we can't get a punch out here, but you just don't want her to put one in play, and that's exactly what she does. Could this be a game winner? It finds the gap, and coming home to score is Gabby Supel. That's going to be a walk-off single for Kennedy Connor, and Iowa City Regina survives a scare. It took 8 innings, but they're able to plate the game-winning run in a game that, as we pointed out, never had multiple runs scored. Neither team never had a multiple run lead, and it is the Regals. Survive and advance is the name of the game. They did so against Cardinal. They do so against Northeast, and they'll be moving on to the semifinals. semifinal matchup in 2A.
You know, it obviously stings for Northeast. They were really, really hoping to pull off an upset, defeat the two-time defending champs, but I gotta say, this is the cleanest game of softball I've seen in a long time. Very few mistakes. If a team was succeeding, it was on their own accord. They were making the plays defensively, plays offensively. Just a beautiful game of softball today.
And I'll jump in there with one thought. And I know you said they wanted to pull off the upset, but you look at it from the numbers, obviously, the 1-8 seed, it would be an upset, but these were two evenly matched teams.
Yeah.
They weren't going in with the David versus Goliath mentality. They were going, hey, we think we might be the better team on this particular Tuesday, and they nearly were. For Northeast, they will move on to play tomorrow at 11:30 over on Veterans Field. And for Iowa City Regina, they will move on to play at the Iowa Central Field in the semifinals at 3:30 tomorrow, either Lisbon or Interstate 35, although from the sounds of it, likely going to be I-35 their matchup. Well, we'll go ahead and flip things over, as now it's going to be the 2-7 seed matchup coming up, Van Meter and Missouri Valley, but a fantastic finish to an outstanding game here in Fort Dodge. We want to thank everybody, myself, Eric Zamora, Daniel Versteg, our color commentator, Justin Wolber, our engineer, our producer, and our camera operator, Peter Tarpey. One final time, it took 8 innings, but Iowa City Regina gets the victory by a final of 4-3, and they move on in the Class 2A semifinal game. You've been watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
We are clear. Thank you very much, everybody.